For this particular thing, we need dictation 7. 就这些。dictation 7.
Hitting the ground. So good news for those folks. Hitting the ground. So good news for those folks.
What's forecast for? 3月11日12日。What's forecast? 因为差不多那么具体的完整性，也很正常。现在这么小啊，PR 的那些。So good news for those folks, and along the East Coast, we are dealing with much of the same thing. So good news for those folks. Double 6.
Hitting the ground. So
good news for those folks and along the East Coast, we are dealing with
the same thing. We actually have two systems.
And
this one that we're seeing over Pittsburgh, that's some energy coming off from the lakes. The larger batch that we have through New York pushing up to Manchester, this is a coastal storm, but it's tapping into some of that energy coming off the lake. So this will really be a 1-2 shot deal. The snow that we have going through now will start to pick up with that energy coming off the lakes by tonight. So we're going to have snow from New York all the way up through New England for the better part of the afternoon, even down to the mid-Atlantic. Now through the Ohio Valley, yep, they're getting some snow. Now this is really, again, about 1 inch to 2 inches at the most. It's not going to do much, but we're still looking at areas in Kentucky that have no power, and they're going on several days of that now. Over a week in some spots. Current temperatures are in the upper 30s and low 30s. Tonight, though, in the Ohio Valley, they're going to drop drastically, and wind chills will be anywhere from 5 to 10 degrees for the feel-like temperature. So it is going to be very cold for those folks in the Ohio Valley that still, unfortunately, don't have power.
Still, unfortunately, don't have power. Still, unfortunately, don't have power. That still don't have power. 不行啊，这你要再拿个那个板啊，不行，这个会那个会歪了，整个洗了。
那板就放在那边充吧。
我现在用这个灯。
这个灯啊。这个吧。
of nice. Maybe so good news for those folks and along the East Coast we are dealing with much of the same thing.
Hitting the ground.
So good news for those folks and along the East Coast we are dealing with
much of the same thing. We actually have
and along the East Coast we are dealing with much of the same thing. So good news for those folks and along the East Coast we are dealing with much of the same thing. So good news for those folks and along the East Coast we are dealing with much of the same thing.
hitting the ground.
So good news for those folks and on the East Coast we are dealing with much of the same
We
thing.
actually have two systems. And
We
this
actually have two systems. We actually have two systems, and this one now we are seeing over Pittsburgh, and that's energy coming off from the lake. 最新啊，最新啊。
we're seeing over Pittsburgh, that's some energy hitting the ground. So good news for those folks. And along the East Coast, we're dealing with much of the same thing.
So good news for those folks and those in the East Coast we are dealing with much of the same thing. Good news for those folks and those in the East Coast we are dealing with much of the same thing. Actually, we have two powers. Good news for those folks and those in the East Coast we are dealing with much of the same thing. Good news for those folks and those in the East Coast we are dealing with much of the same thing. So good news for those folks and along the East Coast we are dealing with much of the same thing. Good news for those folks and along the East Coast we are dealing with much of the same thing. Along the East Coast and along the East Coast we're dealing with much of the same thing. Facilitate some things. Pretty much of the same thing. So good news for those folks and along the East Coast we're dealing with much of the same thing. We actually have two systems. So good news for those folks and along the East Coast we are dealing with much of the same thing. We actually have two powers. We actually have two powers. We actually have two systems, and this one now we are seeing over Pittsburgh, and that's an energy coming from the lakes. The lakes. We actually have two systems, and this one now we are seeing over Pittsburgh. That's the energy coming from the lakes, coming up from the lakes. Systems, and this one now we are seeing over Pittsburgh, and that's the energy coming from the lakes, coming up from the and that's the energy coming up from the legs. We actually have two systems, and this one now we are seeing over Pittsburgh, and this one now we are seeing over Pittsburgh. That's an energy coming up from the legs. That's energy coming from the legs, coming up. What? We actually have two systems, and this one now we are seeing over Pittsburgh. That's the energy coming from the legs. We also have two systems, and this one now we are seeing over Pittsburgh. That's the energy coming up from the legs. We actually have two systems, and this one now we are seeing over Pittsburgh. That's the energy coming up from the legs. We actually have two systems, and this one now we are seeing over Pittsburgh. That's the energy coming up from the legs. The larger batch that we have through New York pushing up to Manchester is a coastal storm, but it's tapping into some of that energy coming up the legs. The larger batch that we have through New York pushing up to Manchester is a coastal storm, but it's tapping into some of that evening. The larger batch that we have to the larger batch that we have through New York push up to Manchester is a coastal storm, but it is tapping into some of that energy coming off the legs. The larger batch that we have through New York pushing up to Manchester. This is a coastal storm, but it is tapping into some of that energy coming off the legs. So this will probably be a 1-2 shot deal the snow that we have going to will start to pick up without the energy of the lakes by tonight. We're going to observe from New York. So this will really be a one or two shot deal. The snow that we have going through now will start to pick up without the energy coming of the lakes by tonight. No. By tonight. So this one will probably be a 1-2 shot deal. The snow that we have going through now will start to pick up without the energy coming off the lakes by tonight. So this one will probably be a 1-2 shot deal. So this will be really a 1-2 shot deal. The snow that we have going through now will start to pick up without the energy coming off the lakes by tonight. So we are going to have So this will really be a 1-2 shot deal. The snow that we have going through now will start to pick up without the energy coming off the lakes by tonight. So this will really be a 1-2. So this will really be a 1-2 shot deal. So this will really be a So this will really be a 1-2 shot. So this will really be a 1-2 shot deal. The snow that we have going through now will start to pick up without the energy coming off the lakes by tonight. Even down to the mid-Atlantic. Not an early nap. No. Now this is only again about 1 inch to 2 inches at the most. So we're going to have snow from New York all the way up to New England for the better part of the afternoon. Even from New York all the way up to New England for the better part of the afternoon. Even down to the mid-Atlantic. Now through the Ohio Valley through the Ohio Valley app, they're getting some snow. Now this is really again about 1 inch or 2 inches at the most. 15秒。这你这语速的话，你我觉得我这个方法是比较好。这是不会 get approach。Snow from New York all the way up to New England for the best part of the afternoon, even down to the Atlantic. Now for the Atlantic, yep, there are going to some snow. Now this is again about 1 inch or 2 inches at the most. At the most. Inches at the most. It's not going to. It's not going to. So we're gonna have snow from New York all the way up to New England for the best part of the afternoon. Even so we're gonna have snow. So we're going to have snow from New York all the way up to New England for the better part of the afternoon, even down to the mid-Atlantic. Now through the Ohio Valley, yep, they're getting some snow. Now this is really again about an inch to 2 inches at the most.43秒左右，时间差不多，你就这样吧，这两个可以吗？这两个觉得可以吧。So we're going to have some snow. So we're going to have snow. So we're going to have snow from New York all the way up to New England for the better part of the afternoon, even down to the mid-Atlantic. Now through the Ohio Valley, yep, we are getting some snow. Now this is really again about an inch to 2 inches at the most. To 2 inches at the most. So we're going to have snow from New York all the way to New England for the better part of the afternoon, even down to the mid-Atlantic. Now through the Ohio Valley, yep, they're getting some snow. So this is really again about an inch to 2 inches at the most. So we're going to have snow from New York all the way up to New England. 假设就是你无所谓慢慢来，无所谓就是你假设你就慢慢来，无所谓的。So we're going to have snow from New York all the way to New England for the better part of the afternoon, even down to the mid-Atlantic. Now through the Ohio Valley, yep, they're getting some snow. Now this is really again about an inch to 2 inches at the most. All the way up to from New York, all the way up to all the way up through New England, all the way up through New England. All the way up to New England. From New York all the way up to New England. So we're going to have snow from New York all the way up to New England for the better part of the afternoon, even down to the mid-Atlantic. Now through the Ohio Valley, yep, they're getting some snow. Now this is really again about an inch to 2 inches at the most. inches at most. So we're going to have snow from New York all the way up to New England for the better part of the afternoon, even down to the mid-Atlantic. Now, to the Ohio Valley yet, we are getting some snow. Now, this is really again about an inch to 2 inches at the most. This is it's not going to do much, but we are still looking at areas in Kentucky that have no power and are going on 7 days of dead snow over a week. girls, something about the girls. That's on the average, nothing is good. Okay.
The afternoon, even down to the mid-Atlantic. Now through the Ohio Valley, yep, they're getting some snow. Now this is really, again, about 1 inch to 2 inches at the most. It's not going to do much, but we're still looking at areas in Kentucky that have no power, and they're going on several days of that now, over a week in some spots. Current temperatures are in the upper...
我来测试一下，如果在远处的话。That is actually the way to solve the problem. Do you know about it? Hello, nice to meet you. Hello, nice to meet you. It's still very noisy, but I want to test that if we have a sound in the background, what will happen? Wow, to shut deal. The good news for North Pole and along the East Coast, but it looks much the same thing. We actually have two systems, and this one now we are seeing over Pittsburgh is the energy coming up from the lake. The larger batch that we have through New York pushing up to Manchester. This is a coastal storm, but it is tapping into some of that energy coming up the lakes. So this will really be a 1-2 shot deal. Snow that we have going to now will start to pick up without the energy coming up the lakes by tonight. So we're going to have snow from New York all the way up to New England for the better part of the afternoon, even down to the mid-Atlantic. Now, for the Ohio Valley yet, we are getting some snow. Now, this is really again about 1 inch to 2 inches at the most.
Again, about 1 inch to...
Oh, okay. It's not going to do much, but we are still looking at areas in Kentucky that have the power, and are going to have 7 days of that now. Then now over a week. Then now over a week. And any spots current over a week, and in some spots current temperatures are in the upper 30s and lower 40s. It's not going to do much, but we are still looking at the power. Looking at several days over a week, and the both current temperatures are in the upper 30s and low 40s. It's not going to do much, but we're still looking at areas in Kentucky that has no power and they're going on several days of that snow over a week. And in some spots, current temperatures are in the upper 30s and the lower 40s. Upper 30s and low 40s. And low 40s. In the upper 30s and low 40s.你好。你好。那设备协调，那这个就会出现。喂。In the Ohio Valley, yep, it's still. They're still not working very well. 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 There's a microphone. I still don't have power. It's not going to do much, but we are still looking at areas in Kentucky that have no power and they are going on several days of that now over a week. It's not going to do much, but we're still looking at areas in Turkey that have no power, and they are going on several days of that now over a week. Over a week. Now over a week. It's not going to do much, but we're still looking at areas in Turkey now. It's not going to do much, but we're still looking at areas but we are still looking at areas in Turkey that have no power. But we're still looking at areas in Turkey that have no power. It's not going to do much, but we're still looking at areas in Turkey now. They have no power, and they are going on several days that now over a week. Now over a week. It's not going to do much, but we're still looking at areas in Turkey that have no power, and they are going on several days of that now over a week. It's not going to do much, but we're still looking at areas in Turkey that have no power, and they are going on several days of that now over a week. And it's a small and low 40s. And in some spots, current temperatures are in the upper 30s and low 40s. And in some spots, current temperatures are in the upper 30s and low 40s. And in some spots, current temperatures are in the upper 30s and low 40s. in a highly interactive series. And in Ohio Valley that still unfortunately don't have power. Still unfortunately. But still unfortunately don't have power. Tonight, through our valley, we are going to drop drastically, and wind chills will be anywhere from 10 to 10 degrees for the feel like temperature. It is going to be very cold for those folks in the Ohio Valley, as still, unfortunately, don't have power. Tonight, though, in the Ohio Valley, we are going to drop drastically, and wind chills 10 degrees on the feel like temperature. It is going to be very cold for those folks in the Ohio Valley that still unfortunately don't have power. Tonight though in the Ohio Valley they are going to drop drastically and wind chills will be anywhere from 5 to 10 degrees for the feel like temperature. It is really going to be very cold for those folks in the Ohio Valley that still unfortunately don't have power. Tonight though in the Ohio Valley they are going to drop drastically and the wind chills will be anywhere from 5 to 10 degrees for the feel like temperature. So it is going to be very cold for those folks in the Ohio Valley that still unfortunately don't have power. Tonight though in the Ohio Valley they are going to drop drastically and wind chills will be anywhere from 5 to 10 degrees for the feel like temperature. So it is going to be very cold for those folks in the Ohio Valley that still unfortunately don't have power. Yeah, unfortunately don't have to. Tonight though in the Ohio Valley, we are going to drop drastically and wind chills will be anywhere from 5 to 10 degrees for the feel like temperature. So it is going to be very cold for those folks in the Ohio Valley that still unfortunately don't have power. Still unfortunately don't have power. Tonight though in the Ohio Valley, they are going to drop drastically and wind chills will be anywhere from 5 to 10 degrees for the feel like temperature. So it is going to be very cold for those folks in the Ohio Valley that still unfortunately don't have power. Still unfortunately don't have power. So, 猜一点点，来个快一点。Tonight though in the Ohio Valley they are going to drop drastically and the wind chills will be anywhere from 5 to 10 degrees for the feel like temperature. So it is going to be very cold for those folks in the Ohio Valley that still unfortunately don't have power. Okay, it's very good.
Good news for those folks and along the East Coast are dealing with much of the same thing. We actually have two systems, and this one now we are seeing over Pittsburgh as an energy coming off from the lake. The larger batch that we have to New York pushing up to Manchester, this is a coastal storm, but it is tapping into some of that energy coming off the lakes. So this is going to be a 1-2 shot deal. Snow that we have going through now will start to pick up with that energy coming from the lake by tonight. We are going to have snow from New York all the way up to New England, but the other part of the afternoon even down to the mid-Atlantic. Now, for the Ohio Valley yet, we are getting some snow. Now, this is going to begin about the east between these elements. It's not going to do much, but we are still looking at areas in Turkey that have no power and they are going on several days of that now over some spots, current temperatures are in the upper 30s and low 40s. Tonight, though, in your higher valley, they are going to drop drastically, and the wind chance will be anywhere from 5 to 10 degrees Celsius temperature. It is going to be very cold for those spots in your higher valley, and still unfortunately not right. Along the east coast, we are dealing with much of the same thing. We actually have two systems, and this one now we are seeing over Pittsburgh is the energy coming off from a lake. The larger batch that we have through New York pushing up to Manchester, this is a coastal storm, but it is tapping into some of that energy coming off the lakes. So this will really be a 1-2 shot deal. The snow that we have going through now will start to pick up without the energy coming off the lakes by tonight. So we are going to have snow from New York all the way up to New England.
Yeah, 这里面10个日常比较好。
So good news for North Falls and along the east coast, we are dealing with much of the same thing. We actually have two systems, and this one now we are seeing over Pittsburgh is the energy coming off from a lake. The larger batch that we have through New York pushing up to Manchester, this is a coastal storm, but it is tapping into some of that energy coming off the lakes. So this will really be a 1-2 shot deal. The snow that we have going through now will start to pick up without the energy coming off the lakes by tonight. So we are going to have snow from New York all the way up to New England for the better part of the afternoon, even down to the mid-Atlantic. Now to the Ohio Valley yet, we are getting some snow. Now this is really again about 1 inch to 2 inches at the most. It's not going to do much, but we are still looking at areas in Kentucky that have no power, and they are going on several days of that now over a week. And in some spots, current temperatures are in the upper 30s and low 40s. Tonight, though, in the Ohio Valley, they are going to drop drastically, and the wind chance will be anywhere from 5 to 10 degrees Celsius temperature. So it is going to be very cold for those spots in the Ohio Valley, and still unfortunately to have power.